artist whose music carries that Lafayette spirit, soulful, grounded, and heartfelt. You may remember him from The Voice season 11. He made quite a splash on the show. Since then, he's grown as a musician, writer, and artist, and has found this really, really cool, unique sound. He's had early success in Nashville, and he spends his days writing, gigging, and building something that feels genuine. What I appreciate him is the mix of heart and craft. You can hear that root in him, but you can also see how hard he's worked. We're going to talk to him about music, the road from Acadiana to Music City, and what's next. Please help me welcome Mr. Gabriel Thomas Broussard.
Hey, y'all.
How are you, man?
I'm doing good, bro. That was so sweet. Thank you.
We need the applause noise right there. Where it's, ooh,
yeah, right. Clap track.
That's right, man. How are you, brother?
Dude, I'm doing good, man. It's been a good week. How are you?
Doing well. We've got written on the river that says "Yay, Gabe." So you already have fans in here.
Love you guys.
I love the hat, dude. I love the hat,
dude. I had to rep it out today,
bro.
I was back on campus, and I was like, I might as well rep the Louisiana country music today.
Dude, I like that. So I guess I'll start with that is saying thank you for joining us for our Mardi Gras takeover that we did at the local.
Yeah, man, that was a ton of fun.
That was awesome, and also for our writers retreat, man. You've been a big part of this ride in the first year, and we appreciate you doing that.
Dude, it's been awesome, man. I think I appreciate what y'all are doing because there's just like so much talent that comes out of Louisiana, and like even in my area, you don't really get to know a ton of the people that are out in New Orleans or that are out, in Baton Rouge and all that stuff. But there's a lot of cool stuff happening. Even you mentioned Miss K and all that she's done for Louisiana artists and all that stuff too, man. It's just like it's cool. I'm like honored to be a part of building that because that's something I believe in for sure, dude.
I think we're all just getting started too, man. It's going to be so much fun moving forward. Miss K's 100%. Been laying the groundwork for a long time, and I rely on her a lot. We call her and ask her advice and connections and stuff a lot. So I'm glad you shouted her out because she deserves it.
Yeah, man. She's such a badass.
Oh, dude, she certainly is. So, man, you're from Louisiana. I mean, you're from Lafayette, Louisiana. Mm-hmm. I always like to start this out before we get into music. Tell us about how growing up in that part of the state just kind of shaped you as like the person that you are.
Man, this could be like a 15, 20 year long answer. No, I'm kidding. No, man, I think just that's besides faith, that's like the deepest root that I've got, I think and obviously everything I know it's the same for a lot of people who've grown up down there. It's like family is the heart of it all. And man, I got really, really lucky and blessed to be born into the family that I was born into. And I had some wonderful parents who like supported me through my entire journey in music and just through growing up and being a weird adolescent teenager as well. And but no, man, that's the root of it all. It's like I think my first house was probably not more than I think it was right across I would jump the barbed wire fence and go hang out at my cousin's house after school, and we'd cross over the field, and man, it's just so tight knit. And I think that was the thing that kind of shaped my my personality and just like the way that I view relationships in general in my life is just it's built on that familial aspect. So it's like anybody that's in my life is like family to me, because of that. And you always help everybody out. And if anybody needs a hand, you're always there to lend it, or, when you need it too, everybody else is there and they've always got your back. And Louisiana is like a big family in that way, So I think that's a big thing.
Especially that part of the state too. I mean, it's even more so like the more time that I've spent down there, I really noticed, and the more artists that we have on from that area, there's something about that part of the state, man. We were talking about those events earlier, talking about your part of the state. One of the things that stood out to me both during the writers round, the Mardi Gras takeover that we did in Nashville and the writers retreat was the freaking soul that you guys have, man. Like all the Louisiana artists, it's like, dude, what are you, what? And
Thanks, bro.
the rest of us just look at each other like, who are these guys? Like, what do you think what do you think it is, man, in that area that creates that?
Dude, I honestly I couldn't tell you because
You know
if
what I'm
I
talking about, though, right?
yeah no 100%, 100%. Man, I really don't, I don't know what it is, man. I think it's just, I think it's some kind of, it's got to be some kind of deep connection to history and like, just like the history of the Cajun people is like they've been through so much, like been through so many different parts of the world, and I think that that soul shines through when you have like a group of people. You've seen it like in like gospel music throughout the years and stuff. I think it's really connected to like when you're connected to your heritage, and your heritage is a group of people that have been through a lot, have seen a lot, have come through a lot, and have survived. Like it's resiliency, and it's making the best out of getting moved to a new spot, being exiled from
Yeah,
France originally, and then Nova Scotia getting kicked out of
Scotia.
there. They're just like, y'all go somewhere else, and we did, and we just kept doing it, and finally we made it work somewhere.
Man, I took the history of the Cajun people as an entire semester course at LSU.
Oh,
I
I'm
learned so much,
jealous.
man. I was like, wow, there was so much that I didn't know, dude. And a lot of what you're saying, it makes so much sense. And so much about that Cajun culture makes sense when you take that class. And you're like, man, no wonder, like you're mentioning family and all that. It's like, well, that's all they had. And
Yeah,
that's all they had to lean on and depend on. And you could see that it's kind of stuck throughout the generations. Um,
100%.
I see
Yeah,
written
man.
on the river says, Gabe, it's the Massies. We watched you perform with Travis in Coach Donna's living room. You were maybe 10.
Oh my gosh. That's crazy. How are you guys? That's
And
freaking awesome.
Lauren Cannon says, how cool. And Claire Keller says, let's go, Gabe. It's about that time to write again.
Yo, what up, Claire?
Yeah, man. I love reading these. I like this show. I like whenever people can interact, man. I think it's more fun than staying on script.
Yeah, 100%.
So, man, so one of the things, you're a great guitar player, dude. You do so many
Oh, thanks,
things
bro.
well. Let's talk about kind of your progression of guitar, singing, writing, and like how did all those come in order and all of that? And then
Yeah.
when you put it all together, what age did you start performing? I'm curious. That's kind of like what came first, I guess, too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Man, I was singing before I could knew what I was singing about. uh, my parents would always like we always had music around the house. My grandpa especially too, he always loved, like, that's where I got that first little hint of soul too. That's what I loved in the soul that I heard was from him. They would play music around, and my grandpa listened to Motown um, a lot. So that's like that's my heart right there. But um, yeah, so I was singing, before I could talk, and that was just always a love of mine. And then I think I was about, I don't know if my mom's watching this, you can correct me, mom. I don't know if I'm gonna get this right, but I think I was 8, and I came to them, and I was like, I really want to get a guitar. Like, I want a guitar. And my parents, like, they know me so well, and I'm a big hyper fixator. So like, if I am like I'll be really into something for like 2 or 3 weeks, and then I'm like, that was fun. On to the next thing. So they were like, we're not going to buy you a guitar if you're not going to like stick with it and play with it, and like actually get better. And if that's not something you're going to keep doing, I think you should wait a little bit longer and see if you want to still get it in, like next year or something like that. And I just kept hounding them. I was super persistent because it was something that I really wanted, and I thought it was so sick at the time. So they finally gave in and got me like the little Stratocaster with the little tiny baby amp combo set.
Yeah.
I played that thing to death, and I think I surprised them because I just kept going. I started playing. Is that my mom? What'd she say?
Is that Julie? Is Julie
Yep,
mom?
that's my mom.
Julie says, yes, 8 years old, LOL.
Yeah, yeah, 8 years old. Yeah, so I played that thing to death, and I think I surprised them a little bit because I kept going with it. and I started going to like some guitar lessons and stuff, and that for some reason I didn't learn well in that kind of environment. I just kind of wanted to be by myself and figure it out. So I just started doing that, and then eventually after that, um, my grandma had moved in with us, and she brought like she had this upright piano that she was wanting to bring with her because it had been in the family, and we're like, we're not going to get rid of this. There's nowhere else to put it, and they were like, Gabe, we got to put this in your room, and I was like, oh no. Yeah. So I excuse me. So that's when I started picking up piano, and I just played that thing to death too. And then I think around man, I want to say it was about probably 10. I had been going to this thing in Lafayette that they do. It was a Acadiana School of the Arts at the time. I think it's School of Rock now, but they would do this thing. It's kind of like Camp Rock on like the movie, but they would do it was called Rock Camp. And so you'd go for a week and you'd be, kind of put in your age group with other kids. Sorry, this dog is running around. Hi, Willie.
We have a dog in almost every episode. At least 50% of our episodes, we have a dog in it.
This is Willie.
Hey, Willie.
I'm at my buddy Preston's right now. This is his dog actually, but I'm like his uncle. Ben, can you call Willie?
We love it.
No, you're good. But no, yeah, I forgot what I was saying. Yeah, rock camp. So we were in like your different sections, and you go for a week and you learn like different songs and play them all at the end. And I had met this group of guys who they were looking for another guy to fill in for for their group for the Battle of the Bands. And it's funny, it was actually Joe Bryson's old band that he was in before, and then I joined his guitar player, and we kind of did a new thing after that growing up. But then yeah, we got into that band, and then the rest was history. I think we played our first gig when I was about 11. I want to say it was either 11 or 12, something like that. We played at this little tiny biker bar. It was like probably an 8 by 10 shack on the side of the river, and it was all these just like.
I thought you were gonna sound like a talent show, not a biker bar.
No, man, we went straight for it. It was just like all these like buff biker dudes in this tiny little room. Huh?
Did Mom know about this?
Yeah, she was there. She was there. That's actually another cool thing I was gonna say too about like I'm sure you know about the Roddy Romero law.
No.
So it was because of him when he was young. He was like 13 or 14, whatever, and he was just like, I mean, Roddy, he's insanely talented, and they were like, man, we got to have him out here playing in these clubs and bars and stuff. So the state legislature put into effect a new law that was going to allow minors to play in clubs as long as they were accompanied by by like a parent or a guardian or whatever. So it was because of that law that I was able to play in those clubs and bars and stuff. But that was my first show with that band, and I played with them for about 6 or 7 years after that, all across Louisiana and the South East. I get my directions mixed up sometimes. Yeah, Southeast.
That's funny, man. Mom says wowies. Wowies? Is that
Wowies, yeah. Wowies on the river.
Wowies.
Rip. They tore it down, man.
Rest in peace, Wowies.
Yeah.
Pour one out for Wowies. That's funny, dude. I really thought you were about to say talent show for some reason. My brain was going there, and you just took a hard right.
Dude, that would have been like probably the logical next step for us at the time. But we were like, let's go play to all these bikers.
So you talked a little bit about Motown playing in the house and stuff like that. Were there any other records that were playing, kind of influential styles?
Yeah, I mean, it was a lot of different stuff. Honestly, my family was so everybody liked different stuff. So in my mom's car, we would listen to country, and then in my dad's car, we'd listen to classic rock. And I still remember the station 97.3 The Dog and 98.1. I think it was the Eagle. I think.
Yeah,
something like that.
News, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So we'd listen to those, and then man, right when I was, I don't even remember exactly when it happened, but Spotify came out when I was in like middle school, I think, or maybe it was getting later towards high school. But then I just started being able to find all my own stuff, and then I would listen to like the 1975 with my bandmates once I got in that band. So it was like a mix of a whole bunch of different stuff. But the one that really connected with me early on was the Motown stuff. My grandpa, and because it was also the stories that he would tell, because he would tell me about how he would go take my grandma. They met at UL, and he would go take her out dancing um, at Grant Street, and
Yeah.
they would go out there dancing, and then they go split a burger and a coke for like 50 cents or something crazy, and they would go down there and they'd play Motown and they'd dance to that, and so it was like all kind of wrapped up in that, and I just love. I've always loved to sing, and I love singers. Like I love listening to singers and people that you can just like, you can feel that heart. It just connected with me so early. And then obviously still love the classic rock. That's what I played in that band for so many years. We played classic rock covers until we started writing our own stuff. And yeah, it just so many evolutions, but it all ties back together somehow. If you look at my Spotify playlist right now, you'd be like, who is this guy?
He needs medication. He's all over the place.
Yeah, no, for real. My
CJ's
mom
chiming
might agree with you.
CJ's chiming in. He said, "I got to take advantage of that law at Phil Brady's in Baton Rouge."
Yeah, bro. Come on. Yeah, we used
Yeah,
to play down there at Boudreaux and Thibodeau's all the time
yeah,
in
probably
BR.
embarrassing you there, man. Um, if there was a guy with just ladies everywhere, that would have been me. I don't know if you remember that guy,
Now come to think of it, I do. I think I saw
but
you a couple times. Yeah.
yeah, I might be making that part up. Uh, well, man, let's talk
You
about
never know.
let's let's talk about that move from Lafayette to Nashville, man. What was it that kind of made you take that leap of faith?
Man, it was a really interesting time for me. Later in high school, um, I had rediscovered my faith, and I had been kind of away from it for a while. I grew up in Catholic school and you know, went to mass at school and did all that good stuff, and but I didn't really believe in none of it. And then the Lord kind of made Himself real to me for the first time, like at the end of high school, and at that time, it Nashville seemed like a logical next step for me. I think it felt like. Um, what was supposed to be right, and is what I wanted for a while because I wanted to be where the music was, and that's the closest place for me. I was never one of those guys. I couldn't see myself living in L.A. or New York or anything like that. It's a little too quick moving for me. Um, but so it was either going to be between going to Nashville or I was going to go into the seminary um, to become a priest. And so that was a tough season, trying to work through that. I think I almost gave my mom a couple heart attacks at that time too, because she was like, "I'm some grandbabies." Uh, but but no, it was a tough season, and I think I ended up making the right decision moving here. Just so many things happened after the fact that just seemed like God had His hand on it, and that was it was confirmation, about that decision because, even at the couple years after I moved here, I wasn't sure that I made the right decision. And I guess I'm learning more and more as I'm getting a little bit older now that it's kind of hard to know if you ever make the right decision sometimes until you see it from hindsight, and God kind of reveals those things to you. Um, but yeah, man, that's kind of the process, the state that I was in at that time. And then once I committed. I moved up here. I think it was only like 2 weeks after my high school graduation, and I came up here and did an internship in the summer. Then I started going to school at Belmont and did that for a couple years. And yeah, so that was how I kind of got up here originally.
So, um, you man, you're still so young. That's the thing. You seem very wise and mature and all that, but I forget you're still very young, especially compared to my old self. But
Oh, bro.
you've you've had some definitely had some early success, man, with The Voice and a writing deal in Nashville with Cornman Music, and we both know that the music business is a business, and that
Yeah,
it isn't always what people see on TV.
yeah,
And so I want to ask, I guess, what are some things that are both positive, and I'm not going to say negative, but what are some things that are both positive and like learning experience that you can
yeah,
take away from your time in Nashville so far with the early success that you've had?
yeah, man. I think like uh, I would say like to start off with something positive, just to be able to like wake up and do what you love every day for a living, you know. And I was pretty young at the time too, so I think I didn't really know how to take full advantage of it. So that's one of the things I probably would have done some things differently. I wouldn't really call them regrets because I think all of that happened as it was supposed to happen, and all those people were in my life and in my path. Um, for a reason, you know, and they all are still like just some of the most important people in my life today. One of the girls that I used to write with at Cornman, I actually just went to her wedding. I was a bridesmaid in her wedding 2 weeks ago,
Nice.
and but yeah, man, I think like one of the cool things about it too is like the community and like Nashville songwriting community is so tight knit. Because it's such a unique thing, you know. I think I take it for granted sometimes living here, not really understanding until you go somewhere else. Like you get outside of the bubble again, and you're like, oh no, like there's not a lot of places that have this. You
Yeah.
know, there's not a lot of places where you can just like you can go out and see songwriters playing every night of the week. You can go out and make connections with people that you love what they do. Uh, you know, you can make new friends that you're going to have for a lifetime. Write songs all the time that mean something to you, or they're just about having fun or drinking beer or something. You know, it's like that's the beautiful part of it. Is like the creative side, but like you said, the business too. I think at least what I've learned, I think it really depends on the mindset that you take into it. Because I think sometimes, at least what I thought going into my first deal, I was like, oh, okay, this is going to be awesome. It's just going to be like loose and creative, and it's just going to be fun, and which it is. You know, sometimes sometimes that's the frustrating part too. Um, because you're dealing with a bunch of artists, and we're all artists, and I'm not singling nobody out. I do that myself too, but sometimes it just moves slow when you're talking to a bunch of creative people. Um,
Yeah,
everybody's so we're all. I think it's left brain, right?
I
There's
think
left
so.
brain. Yeah, left brain. We're all left brain people, and I think we just left the right brain somewhere else. Um, but no,
There's
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I think that's like that can be a frustrating part sometimes, but yeah, I mean, overall, I think it's a wonderful experience if you're geared for that too. I think that's one of the things that I learned in my deal was that I'm not necessarily geared to do this like creative thing in inside of a framework necessarily. Because as a like a staff writer, you got like your quota of songs that you have to reach that's in your contract. So like uh, I think mine was like it's nothing crazy, but it's like 18 songs within 6 months or something like that. And everybody's contract is different, obviously. Um, but I think sometimes I think just me not being prepared in the right way for it too. It it can feel like a lot of pressure, and it did feel like a little bit of pressure for me when I was in it because I was like, okay. It's also just the FOMO too of like this was my first deal. I'm a nobody. This guy came out of the blue and took a chance on me, and as like pretty much, he's putting a lot of at the end of the day, he's putting a lot of money on the line for you to be able to do what your dream is, so it's like it's pressure in that sense too. And I think I just wasn't prepared enough, and um ready for what it truly was at the time, to be able to go into it with the right mindset. um and everybody's got different ways of approaching it. Some people are like, approach it like a 9 to 5. They're like, we start at this time, we end at this time, we're going to get some songs, it's going to be fun, we're going to have a good time. But approach it like a job. You do it every day. Approach it like a muscle. You get that muscle better. And then there's some people who are more, ethereal, and are on the other side of the spectrum, that are very creative and loose, and that's fun too. So there's man, I try not to condense it down into one take too much, because there's so much nuance inside the industry. Um, but yeah, I mean, all that to say, the people are awesome, man.
Yeah.
Business, as you know, any kind of business can kind of suck a little bit sometimes, just because it's a business and people are trying to make money. And it you get caught up in some of those things sometimes. But I'd say, like, at least for Nashville, um like, the amazing part about it is the people, and you get to meet so many different types of people. And like I said, people who will approach the same thing from two completely different angles.
Yeah, I think something you just said super super wise, man. I think oftentimes in life that we try to put one emotion on something big, and it's like that takes a lot of emotions to cover all of that. You can't really put one thought or feeling on that on Nashville. So that's a great approach, man. I'm gonna carry that with me. Try to
Oh,
learn from
oh, thanks, dude. Yeah, no,
that.
I think it's crazy, man, because they're just like, there's so much going on at all times. And then you do it over a couple of years of period, and you get to experience so many different things in so many different ways. And there's a lot of friendly culture that's mixed up in business, because I feel like in a lot of businesses, you're not really necessarily always friends with who you're doing business with. But that's kind of a prereq for Nashville, is like, you got to be a good hang. You got to be friends with all those people, and that it can get hairy sometimes when you're friends with all the people you're working with.
No doubt. Um, I want to. Our viewers may or may not know, but so Corn Man was owned by the late Brett James, and you were talking about somebody taking a chance on you, and I'm assuming that's who you're talking about, was Brett taking the chance on you.
Yeah.
What was your? It was a horrible tragedy with him and his wife and stepdaughter, I believe,
Hmm.
in that plane crash recently. But what was your experience around Brett? And just I'm gonna give you the floor for a minute and just say whatever you would like to say about him.
Yeah, man. Brett was and he was an incredible guy. Yeah, like I said, he was like the first guy to see me, and want to take a chance on me. And I think he saw a lot in me that I didn't see in myself at that time, which was something I was incredibly grateful for. And just the opportunity, and the songs that I got to write with him, and the conversations that we had. He's a guy, obviously, like, he was incredibly successful. Um, but that success never really changed him. Like, from the first time I met Brett, he was the same through and through. Like, he is always the same guy. And that was something I really admired about him. And yeah, you could just see the way that he took care of the people at Cornman too. All of them are like family, man. It was such a small company, and it was a blessing to be a part of, and to get to see that, because a lot of the people that ride over there end up, being with them 10, 15, 20 years. And it's like, it really is like a family. And I think he's done an incredible job, like, cultivating that thing. And I think that's going to outlast, um, sadly, even him on this earth, is like the legacy and the impact that he had, not only on the music scene, but like all the people that came into contact with him. And man, he was awesome, man. He was just like he was a free spirit. He was a motorcycle rider. He was a pilot. Man, he was just like an all around badass guy. You know, he liked good bourbon, which was something that we enjoyed together quite a few times. Um, but yeah, man, him and his family as well. They'll always kind of have a special place in my heart, just for being that. You know, it's
Yeah.
really that's him being who he was to me at that point in my life was more than what words uh, could describe at that point. I feel like it's not really something that you can say. It's that next level of going out, and like going to bat for the people that you love. That it it's never gonna be it's never gonna be matched by, like, a compliment that you give somebody. It's like that thing when you go out and you go to business and you go to bat for those people that you love, and that's what and he really did that for everyone. You know.
Well, I thought about should I throw that at you or not, but I knew that you'd want the opportunity to speak about him and this and that. So glad you took a minute to do that, man. Sorry for the loss, man. I know that I never got to meet him personally, but I was a big fan of his as
Yeah,
a
man.
writer. Obviously, I mean, if you're
Oh, dude.
anywhere around the business, I mean, you're a fan of Brett. You know.
Oh, 100%, dude. He was such a workhorse. Such a workhorse. Such a phenomenal rider. Yeah, man. No, he's definitely like, if anybody deserves to be honored, it's for sure him.
Yeah. Well, let's shift gears a little bit, man, and let's talk about the voice, man. You cool if we talk about that for a few minutes?
Oh yeah.
Okay. We had James Dupre and we had
Yeah.
Karen Walker both on here recently, and we all talked about that, and they both seem to have very positive experiences from the show. And
Yeah.
the first question is, what was your experience like on there?
Man, it was incredible. I'm actually, I was just telling you earlier that I'm at my buddy Preston's house right now. And his new wife, Charity, actually. I I had the honor of getting to officiate their wedding, and which was really cool. And I met both of them on my season of The Voice, and we've been friends since then. Preston was my first roommate when I moved to town, and I think it's crazy. We're going on. It'll be 10 years that we've known each other next year, um, which is pretty wild to think about. Just how fast time has gone, but man, the show was just incredible, and for that same reason, it was just the people and the connections, and man, just the time you get to spend there is it's so crazy because you're like in an alternate universe, kind of, because you're like existing within the confines of this hotel for like however long, like 3 or 4 months, and
Wow, that
yeah,
long?
yeah, it was a long time. So that first period before the show, um, before the show kind of gets kicked off, like those 3 episodes that are pre-recorded, you go through a lot of prep beforehand, with like getting in the studio and makeup, and you get your hair and you get your wardrobe done, and there's like like a voice coach that you go to and go and practice all your songs with her, and you just literally you're working for probably 2 hours a day. Me and Preston a little bit more because that's when we kind of got close. We were both, I think he was 15 and I was 14. So we were still in school and we had to miss those months of school to be there. So they had like a little school on the campus of the hotel for us to go to. So we would just go to this hotel room, me and him, for a couple hours a day and work on schoolwork together. And yeah, man, it's weird. Like it's like you're living at like a really long adult summer camp, and it's it's wild, but you get to know all those people so well, and dude, just being in a place full of so many people who can sing like that. I'm Man, I'm glad I did it when I was young, because I didn't know like the gravity of what was happening. I was just happy to be there. I was just a kid. I was like, this rocks. This is cool, man. And
Yeah,
like like hanging out with all these older musicians too, and getting to hear their stories and where they're from, and it's really cool. And that part of it is just awesome. Like, really, no, I'd say like 95% of the time that I spent out there was just, hanging with the people. And like the 5% is the show, and the show was awesome. And it it helped out with my career at the time a lot. Just getting myself out there to people that wanted to hear, me sing, and then people from the local area too that knew the show, and they were like, "Oh, this kid from Lafayette," that kind of thing. But yeah, man, like I said, it was like really all like 95% hanging and 5% the show, you
Is
know.
it is the talent? I mean, is the talent like super legit?
Oh yeah, dude. It was crazy my season. I remember there was a cut like, so you go for a little bit, like a small period before the filming for the show starts. And I remember walking, they had a piano in the lobby, and there was just all these people sitting around the piano singing, and I was just like, "Oh my gosh." It was like, I remember it was like a Soraya and Justin Warrior and all those guys that were on that season were just, it's gnarly, dude. It's for real. And we did do like a church service one day where we all just got together in one of the spare rooms that the hotel had, and we just like sang worship songs, and I was like, this is insane. And at the time I didn't even really have anything to do with God, but I was like, this is spiritual.
Wow, bro, that's awesome, dude. I didn't realize like neither one of them mentioned like that 4 month in a hotel thing. That's
Yeah.
crazy. Um,
Yeah, it's
just
cool,
incredible
man.
that we knew that. Yeah, that's why I like to ask these questions because our viewers get to learn like just random stuff like that.
Yeah,
Uh,
man. That's the part that was fun to me. It's just the
yeah, you're like
all the
14,
stuff.
and you're like, what?
Yeah, I was just like, this is sick. I was like, can we stay here? And we get they get everything taken care of. And my mom was with me the whole time because I was a minor. So all the minors have to, and it was honestly, I think, a better experience for me because I was a minor at the time, because they have like work laws in California for like show business that if you're a minor, you can only work like a certain amount of hours a day or something like that. And so for everything, we'd get to go first, and we get to leave first, and we get to eat first. And I was just like big chilling, and they would give us some money to go eat. Me and my mom, I gained like 50 pounds that summer. It was
Oh
crazy.
man, yeah. Wow. What made you decide to audition for the show?
Man, they actually reached out to me because I didn't know. It was always something I wanted to do when I was young. We grew up watching like American Idol and the Voice and all that stuff, and I've known Ray Boudreaux for a long time. He was on The Voice a while back, and um, so it was something that I had thought about, but I thought I was too young. But apparently, like the way that they had it set up, you just had to be 15 before a certain point. Um, so it ended up working out. I remember the casting reached out to me, and they were like, "Hey, would you want to come out for an audition?" And I was like, "Sure." And so I went out there. Me and my mom drove out to, I think it was at Houston, and we went and did the audition. And then I got back to town, and I didn't hear anything for like 2, 3 months. And I was like, okay, I guess they just passed on it. And then one day I remember I was sitting in the car. Uh, my sister would drive me to school and back home every day. So I was sitting at the light in Abbeville, right across from the shop, right. And I looked at my phone, and I saw the thing popped up, and they were like, "You have been chosen to move on to the next round," or whatever. And I was like, "Oh shit." I was like, for real? I was so that's kind of how it all started. And I was just like, it was just like imposter syndrome from day one. I was like, walked in there, well, I'm like, all these people who are in their like 20s, 30s, and like some younger kids like me who are all just badass, and I'm just like, dude, this rocks. I was like, I can't believe I'm here.
Wow. What about walking out on the stage for that first time? Like, how did you feel walking out on the stage, and then how did you feel when you had a chair or two chairs turn around? Like when that started happening.
Dude, honestly, I don't even remember at this point. It was just like, it was a long time ago now, but I just remember being so hyped up, and I was just like, that was one of those things where I was talking about it, like, I'm glad I was younger because I didn't really understand the gravity of the situation or
Yeah.
what was actually happening. So I just remember being like really excited, and then I just went out there and it was like it was over like that because you just do like a 90-second snippet of the song, right? So like I mean, before I could even blink, I felt like it was over, and when I saw the chairs turn, I was just like, damn, for real, let's go. So it was really it was fun. It was exciting, but I think yeah, it was just really fun at that point because I was like, I'm just happy to be here. This is
So
awesome.
it was like Blake Shelton that turned around, right? And then Miley
Yeah,
Cyrus.
and
Okay.
Miley Cyrus, yeah, yeah,
Wow.
they both turned. I think if I yeah, I think it was Miley that turned first. I can't remember. Somebody will call me out, but I think it was Miley that turned first, and because I remember seeing on the thing, Blake was like, "No, Miley, no, Miley, no, Miley." My parents were seeing like the live feed of what was going on in the studio, but also what was going like what was being recorded, and they could hear like the coaches talking behind the chairs and stuff, and so it was fun. And then when I got to go back and watch it and see my parents' reactions, that was really funny, and it was cool. It was sweet.
And you sang a hometown boy song, right?
Yeah, man, Marc Broussard. That was
Yeah.
the that was one of the songs that I grew up singing. Funny story, I that was one of the first concerts that I ever went to, and I saw him play that song, and I looked up at the stage, and I was like, I want to be doing that." I was like, I need to do that. And so I like 2 weeks later, I went home and I recorded uh, like a video. My mom recorded me just singing "Lonely Night in Georgia," and his dad had sent it to him. I found out later because I saw him at a show that they were doing at Agave in Youngsville, and I was like, "Hey, Mark, I just want to introduce myself." He was like, "Oh, you're Gabe, right?" I was like, "Yeah." I was just like, I was starstruck, bro, because he was like
Mark
he
Broussard.
was yeah, he was an idol of mine as a kid, you know?
Yeah.
And, so he was
He's a
like
great
he's
guy, man. He's a nice
dude,
dude.
he really is. He's always been so kind and, like, every I've it's been, like, 3 years in between each time I met him, and he always, like, remembered my name and, asked about, like, personal things that we had talked about last time, and I was like, "Bro, I don't know how you have this memory," to be honest, you know? But he's such a good dude, and, yeah, so I ended up singing that song because that was the song that actually the casting people had seen me, sing it with him at Rhythms on the River, which is like uh, a concert series that they do in Lafayette.
Yeah.
We had gone out to see him, and he called me up on stage, and he was like, "Come sing this one," and, yeah, so they had seen that video, and they were like, "Hey, you wanna come try out?" So, ended up doing that one.
I remember at the writers' retreat, we were out back after that write that day or whatever, sitting around Kay and Curtis's little
Yeah,
brick
yeah, yeah, yeah.
pool, and you had went in for something, and somebody's like, "Let's rock." Everybody was playing, or somebody's like, "Let's sing. Let's do Home."
Mhm.
You walked out, and everybody's like, "You know Home?" You're like, "Yeah, I know Home a little bit." Like, I might have played that one a time or two.
Yeah, dude. Oh, that was so fun, man. That was really killer. And that was like one of my favorite parts of just sitting out back and just playing cover tunes in that little pit. Their place is so nice, but it was also just like all the talent. I was like, dang, bro. Y'all put together a good one.
I've got to. I always try to keep this right around an hour, man, and for everybody, for your time, and for everybody else's time.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
got a couple more for you, man. And then, do you mind playing a little? Do you mind playing a tune? Or
Yeah, I can play a tune.
okay, cool. We'll get to that in a minute, man. There was a great tune from that show that you teased on social media. You can play that one if you want, or play whatever you want to play. I'm just kind of putting that out.
Okay.
But one more about the voice, and then I got so were there any things that you learned from like the coaches or anything? Like, was there things that you were like, man, I didn't really know that?
Yeah, man. I think if anything, I learned about how to be in those moments a lot from them, and you don't really get to spend a whole ton of time with them, or at least I didn't, for my specific case. But the times when we were in there in the coaching sessions and all that stuff, I think for me, when I was young too, I didn't really know how to really step into those shoes, step into the confidence of, that was my first time playing a live show without, um, without a guitar in front of me. So that was like a big thing, and it was just the encouragement was huge, and I think it was just like the validation from those people that it's like you got what it takes to be able to do something. So I think that kind of set a precedent early for me to like believe in myself as an artist and vocalist.
Well, I believe in you, man.
Thanks, bro. I believe in you too.
Oh, thank you, brother. Last question before we get on, before we let you play a song for everybody, because I know they want to hear that. But and I know this is an important question for you, so I want to ask it. What role would you say that your faith has had to getting you to you? What role would you say your faith has had to getting you to where you are today? And what role will it play determining on your future plans and choices?
Phew. Yeah, man. Up to this point, everything, and hopefully after this point, everything as well. Um, but yeah, I shared a little bit about it earlier in my experience in high school, and with one of my best friends, Dustin. He runs a ministry out of Abbeville, which also shout out to them. Y'all go check out God Made Self Driven Ministries. Dustin Bertrand 7, shout out. Um,
I like it.
but yeah, he took me kind of under his wing when I was in high school and trying to figure everything out. And I had met with him, and I was like, something just came over me. I was like, bro, we need to meet every week. And I had no interest in any of that at that point. He was looking for somebody to do music for his ministry, and he had just asked me because he knew I did music and was like, "Do you know anybody else?" Was kind of the thing, and then we ended up hanging out, and I ended up, becoming a part of that ministry for a time and leading worship. And man, it opened my eyes up to the power of music, for real, because there's a spiritual element to all of that, to everything, and to all of our giftings that we have, I think too. Everybody's got a gift in a unique way that's meant to touch people. And it showed me like what operating in that could be like, and what it was the first time too I had experienced music for something outside of myself, because I'd always done music because I enjoyed it, because it was fun for me. It was a way to get out my emotions, and it still is all of those things. But it also, that opened up the door for me to be like, oh, this is how music can be a service. This is how music can be healing for other people. And by me walking in that and creating and continuing to just build on that gift that God gave me, hopefully I can give a little something back to him through that, and I think that's what I want to take into my music in the future. Because man, it's been a rough ride. There's been a lot of backsliding since then. There's been a lot of, everything under the sun, you name it, everything that comes with just being a human. Nobody's perfect, and I'm never going to be perfect, and I think I'm still working on giving up on that dream. But I'm always going to keep trying. And man, yeah, I just think that that's like the biggest thing for me is I just want to take that forward and just keep that, I guess, try to be as selfless as I can with that mindset of how I approach music and how I approach my art as a service to other people, and hopefully a blessing to my creator.
I love that, man. I agree. I think we all have a talent. I think we all have a certain skill, and I think that God gave it to us to use it, man. So and to serve others, and I'm glad to hear that answer. That's awesome. Makes me drive my answers like that make me want to push myself harder. Well, it's important to be around good people too.
Dude, yeah, same, man. That's why I love you guys, and man, I love what y'all are doing. And I'm happy that y'all asked me to be a part of it, bro.
Yeah, I see Gabe. I see Christy and Lance said, Gabe, I don't personally know you, but with your faith and testimony tonight, I wish you nothing but the best for you, and stay true to yourself and God. So,
Oh, that's so sweet.
yeah,
Thank you.
that's what I love about this show, man. People get to see new people, and and not only get to hear you play, but get to know you a little bit more as a human. And I love doing these every Tuesday night because I get to know more about people and ask them questions.
Yeah,
if
bro.
I asked you this many questions at the retreat, you'd have been like, "Who's this weirdo?" But, but I love getting to know people, So it's a
yeah, man.
So yeah, man, if you don't mind, if you
Oh
want
yeah,
to tune or something like that, and you can play whatever you want to play, dude.
all right.
I love that
Yeah,
little tape. Was it you and Bryson that wrote?
yeah, me and Joe.
Yeah, bro, that's killer. But you
I don't know if
such a
I'll be
pretty
able to
song.
play that one just because I think that one's in a different tuning, and I'm at my buddy's house. I'm glad I did it here because he's got this crazy beautiful J50 that he
Yeah,
calls Holly. This thing is gnarly, and it's one of my favorite guitars that I've ever played. I'm gonna take one of my rings off because I don't want to scratch it.
that's sweet, dude.
Let me see. I'll do this one. This is a song I wrote. It's called "Long Way to Fall." It's one of my favorites, and hopefully, this will be one of the ones that'll come out early next year. I'm thinking right now, so hope you like it. Said I was an anchor dug down in everything that was no good for me. Yeah. And you were ship running wide open, hell-bent on talking me free. And my knuckles turned white, gripping tight to the good thing I found. But you said I was holding you back when I should have been holding you down. And I thought it was forever, at least in my head. But I guess it looked different from your side of the bed. 'Cause it felt like heat and tasted like honey, wrapped in your wings. Could have sworn that you loved me. Was a fool to believe that you'd keep me from crashing where I used to crawl. Oh, I thought that you saved me, but all that you gave me was a long way to fall. I wouldn't rewind all the good times to spare me the pain of you leaving. But that truth doesn't always hold power over how I'm feeling. And maybe it's crazy, 'cause your love is the sweetest I've known, yeah. But damn it, some days I wish you'd have just left me alone, yeah. Woo! 'Cause it felt like heat and tasted like honey, wrapped in your wings. Could have sworn that you loved me. Was a fool to believe that you'd keep me from crashing where I used to crawl. Oh, I thought that you saved me, but all that you gave me was a long way to fall. Oh, I thought that you saved me, but all that you gave me was a long way to fall.
Man, what? See, I wasn't going to tell the audience this before, but I basically taught him everything he knows vocally. So
It's true, y'all. It's true.
Oh man, dude, that's killer, bro.
Thanks, man. I
That's so
appreciate it.
awesome.
Should have warmed up a little bit more before that one. I
Nah.
forgot how high I was, and I usually tune my guitars down. He's got his all the way in standard, like a real musician.
Oh man. Well, what you got coming, man? What's coming in 2026 for us?
Man, hopefully, I think what I'm looking at doing right now is I've got a couple tunes like that one that I really just want to get some stripped down versions of. You know, I really connect personally with, like, you know, when you write and stuff in Nashville, you do a lot of like guitar vocal demos or piano vocal demos and stuff. And those are always the ones that I end up like connecting to and really loving the most. And I love building out full tracks and, you know, like getting full band stuff. But I think I really just want to do some strip stuff and yeah, just want to get that out there and hopefully do some more. I'm hopefully gonna get some Christian songs on that one too. So,
Dude, I can't wait, man. I agree with you. If I could only pick full band or stripped down stuff for the rest of my life, I'm going with the stripped down stuff to listen to, man. I love it so much, dude. There's something spiritual about it almost.
yeah, man. It's just like, so it's the intimacy of it, I feel like, you know.
Yeah. It's how it's written, normally, like
Right.
yeah.
Right. And like, yeah, people build it out after that, but it's like you're hearing like the essence of what they had in their head when they wrote it, you know. I love that about it.
Well, brother, I appreciate you coming on, man. I know it's a Tuesday night and you probably got 100 things going, but certainly appreciate it. The hat looks great on you.
Oh, dude, I need to get one in that color.
Yeah, dude, we'll get you one.
I like. Okay. All right, I'm gonna hold you to it.
I think we're talking about doing a hang here soon, man. CJ was talking about trying to put together something in like November or something, but maybe we won't get it that soon, but we'll see.
Yeah, bro. I'm down whenever. I'm around.
Okay. Well, cool, man.
Yeah, just let me know.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Gabriel Thomas Broussard, thank you for coming in, man. We'll see you soon in Nashville.
Yes, sir.
All right, brother.
Mr. Ronnie Calhoun, y'all.
All right, man. We'll see you soon.
All right, brother.
All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed that show tonight. Gabe's just another in a long line of just not only talented musicians, but awesome people that we get to bring on and share with you guys. So we really appreciate you guys are the biggest part of this community, the viewers, the fans, and all of that. We're a part of it. The artists are a part of it. The venue, everybody's a part of it, but the fans are the biggest part of it. So thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for commenting and sharing and liking. If you want to find more great artists, go back and watch all of our previous interviews and tune in every Tuesday night here. Make sure to follow, like, share, comment, and do all the things to help us show what Louisiana country music and our artists are all about. Let's show the whole world the talents like Mr. Broussard tonight. Thank you guys for tuning in. God bless all of our Louisiana folks out there. Enjoy the rest of your week. We'll see you next Tuesday night right here on Louisiana Country Music Live.